You can call this country bread or semi-whole wheat, but it's basically my go-to sourdough. I'm gonna show you how to get a nice ear on your finishing loaf, beautiful open crumb, and a dark shiny crust with those magical blisters. Let's make it, shall we? First thing first, for the starter, before you ask me what is my feeding ratio, keep in your mind the higher the room temperature, the higher the feeding ratio. The night before, I fed my starter with 1:7:7 ratio, and the next morning it's active and ready to go. In a medium-sized bowl, add 7 grams salt, followed by 250 gram water. Bring your kitchen scale and measure up 70 gram of that beautiful active starter. Mixy. Lastly, 250 gram bread flour followed by 100 grams whole wheat. Then go ahead, mix all the ingredients with the back of wooden spoon. Once you add a shaggy dough like this, wet your hands, clean up the spoon. I like to mix my dough for another 2 to 3 minutes. The better you mix the dough, the easier the dough comes together. I also like to clean the side of the bowl a bit and then cover it up, let it rest for 30 minutes. As simple as this. 30 minutes later, this is the magic of time. The dough gains some beautiful strength, but not much. So go ahead and give this bad boy a set of stretch and fold. Once you finish folding all the sides to the center, with your hand one more time, and then this is the movement. Go ahead, push the dough underneath and try to round it up inside the bowl. Like so, we create even more tension. And the surface of the dough is not sticky anymore. In this stage, I'm not looking for huge gluten development. I just want to bring everything together and make the dough slightly smoother. And then cover it up, let the time to do the rest of the job. Another 30 minutes rest, and again the dough gains some more strength. Beautiful. Then this time, instead of stretch and fold, I'm gonna stretch the dough a little bit and kind of round it in my hand and ball it up like a pizza dough. Then back to the bowl, and same thing gonna happen here. Then cover it up, and this time let it rest for 45 minutes. Now, you might wonder why my dough is not that sticky. First thing first, every time I'm gonna touch the dough, I wet my hands so it won't stick to my hands. Secondly, I'm using high protein strong flour. So the question here is, what should I do if I don't have strong flour? Simply just reduce the hydration or reduce the whole wheat in the recipe. I'm using 30% whole wheat. You can use 20% or 15% whole wheat. I have 250 gram water, which is something like 73% hydration. You can reduce this to 70 or even 68%. Easy peasy, right? Get one of these thermometer because temperature plays the main role. My room temperature is quite high, around 28 degrees Celsius. And after 45-minute rest, look at it. It's almost there. Now time to perform 2 sets of coil fold with 45-minute rest between each sets. First set done, 45-minute rest, and the last set of coil fold. And as you can see, the dough passes the window pane test. Beautiful. In this stage, don't push it too hard. Be gentle, because we are almost done. Now cover it up and let it finish its small fermentation, which at 28 degrees Celsius, it's not going to take more than 1 hour and 40 minutes. Why so fast? Because that 30% whole wheat speed up the fermentation. You might see some bubbles forming on the surface of the dough pulls away from the side of the bowl, it's not sticky to touch anymore. It's airy and puffy, and we are aiming for 40% of rise in this high temperature. And the dough temperature after bulk fermentation should be around 25 to 27 degrees Celsius. And if you turn the bowl upside down, it's going to release like a piece of cake. Did you see that? Now I'm going to fold out the side to the center one more time, flip the dough and round it up with the help of the counter. This is called Preshape. Look at this gorgeous dough. Now I'm gonna let it sit on the counter uncovered for 20 minutes. Or maybe less when my room temperature is so high. Now let's talk about banneton or the baskets you're gonna use to proof the dough. To cold proof a whole wheat sourdough, I rather to use one of this long strip banneton. I choose this over my 21 centimeters oval shaped banneton. Simply because when the dough gonna rise during the fermentation, it has more space. And when the dough doesn't have much space, it's gonna rise upward instead. Very soon the dough gonna collapse and it will get overproofed. So especially for long cold fermentation, never use a smaller banneton. Back to the dough, been resting 15 minutes uncovered on the counter, and now shaping time. Into the banneton and time to check the temperature one more time. If the dough temperature is around 25 to 27 degrees Celsius, you can transfer it into the fridge right away. But in cooler climate, you need to let the fermentation kickstart, somewhere between 30 minutes up to 2 hours. Now, of course, if you want to bake it the same day, I'm not gonna stop you. You can let it proof on the counter and bake it. But what about this? We can transfer it into the fridge, let it cold proof overnight, and the next beautiful morning we have fresh bread. And of course we do this for more flavor and better crumb texture, right? See you tomorrow. The next beautiful morning or after 8 to 10 hours, bring a baking mat or a baking paper. Although the poke test is not that accurate for cold fermentation, but if you poke the dough, it's gonna bounce back slowly. On a baking mat, one dip confidence score. Spray a little water on the surface to get those beautiful blisters. I'm using baking steel with an upside down cast iron pot. If you have Dutch oven, it's the safest method. Please use that. Carefully load the dough into the oven, put the pot as a lid, and bake at 230 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. Then carefully, with the help of baking gloves or very thick kitchen towel, remove that lid. Look at it. If you're strong like me, try to move it to the upper rack and bake at 210 degrees Celsius for another 27 minutes. Or if you want more color on your crust, bake it for longer time. But to me, this is just perfect. Look at this piece of art. Look at that gorgeous ear. It's a huge oven spring. And did you see those blisters? I told you. Spray little water. And now the moment of truth. Let's check the crumb, shall we? Wow, check this crumb. You're welcome, my friend. This is my go-to sourdough country loaf. Flavorful, healthy, and amazing. Nothing can beat the smells of fresh bread, right? It's amazing. Some people complain about holes in sourdough. They are weird, right? Because the mayo leaks out. But this is how I like to eat mine. A slice of sourdough with a sunny side up or scrambled egg on the side. Take a piece of bread into the yolk and enjoy. Cheers. I can have this for breakfast, for lunch, for dinner. It's amazing. Alright, I guess that was it. Make sure to check the description for more details and subscribe. Like always, keep baking and take good care of yourself.